Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the big show. Welcome to the Deeper Understanding podcast. How's everybody doing today? We're going to give the Saints a few more minutes to come on in. Iman. Come on in. Come on in. Somebody, somebody's watching. Let me know how we sounded. That's always a concern of mine. Come on in the church house. Y'all go to church today? I just get off so late. I gotta figure something out. I just get off so late and I get home so late. And getting up that early is hard to go to the service, but I'm gonna figure something out. Now that we're getting back to a healthy state. Give everybody a few more minutes to come on in. Welcome. Welcome to those that's joining. How y'all doing today? Gonna give it just a few more minutes. Everybody come in and get settled. But y'all come on in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I was watching the football game, watching the Kansas City and Cleveland game. Oh, mm. Y'all let me know how I'm sounding. Those that's watching and coming in. Sorry if the lighting changes. That's just the TV uh, doing this thing. D Money, you watching? Let me know how we sounding. Couple more minutes that we're gonna get into it and let the Saints roll in as they may. Or if not, that's cool too. You know, catch the replay. Touchdown. Hmm. Hmm. All right, we can go ahead and get started. Uh, Today, we're talking about marriage material part two. Is basically we're gonna break down the husband aspect of marriage. Last time we talked, it was about the wife's duty and asking women, "Are you marriage material?" And today we're gonna focus more on the husband side of the coin. Are men marriage material? And before we get started, I'd be remiss if I didn't send my thoughts and prayers to a good friend of mine, Frank Sykes. Me and Sykes worked together at the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. We worked in the jail together, did some sober rides together, and found out that he has COVID and he is currently on the ventilator. So we are praying for his recovery, we're praying his strength, and praying for his healing. And for anybody going through COVID, is well known and documented that I battled COVID all last month, and still, quite frankly, still recovering. My lungs still haven't gotten to back to quite like normal, but we getting there. I understand it's a process, and it takes time, but we are getting better. I thank everybody again for their prayers and their thoughts. Had a good week at work this week. It's my first week back, and I was welcomed uh, unbelievably, and really blown away by the support and all the love from the people that I work with, the people I work for, and it's incredible. I tell people all the time, you find out who your real people is when something happens to you, because people don't have to reach out, they don't have to pray, they don't have to they don't have to think about you. But you're grateful when they do, and when they really show their love and gratitude for you. So it's a powerful thing. So like I said, once again, thank you to everybody for their support. Um, but let's just dive into this. Uh, are men marriage material anymore? And I'm hoping that I get some brothers to call in or something. I know everybody's pretty much watching football, so I don't know how much live participation we're gonna get, but nonetheless, we're gonna go forth with the show because it's been asked for several times. And like I said, whether you watch it live or you watch it on replay, doesn't really matter to me. I just like people to watch because a lot goes into the show, and we want to give you a good product. But yeah, I'm in marriage material. I think, in my opinion, that men are, well, I say this, men in my generation, in my era, seem to be transitioning from the old player kind of thing, which I guess is a natural progression. We're moving away from that, oh, I want to be with all these different women, to settling down. And I think that's appropriate for our age. We as you get older, your priorities change, your tastes change, and it's almost like something natural is this instinctual kicks in, and you're like, okay, it's time for me to settle down. It's time for me to find a wife. I done played. I done been out here. I done looked and searched and played with all these different women, and now it's time for me to settle in and be really just be a man. It's like being a grown something. You already a man, but it's something about when you get uh into your 40s or something like that, or hell, late 30s, you ready to be a grown ass man at that point. And you're not really looking to play anymore. Hell, your body's tired, your mind's tired, because playing takes a lot of energy out of a man. It takes a lot of strength. And so you got to slow it down and let nature take its course. and you've had your fun. And now it's time, you can hear your mama call you. It's time to come in the house. And I'm starting to see more and more brothers do that. Congratulations to the Fitzgeralds. I see Marcus, Marcus got married yesterday. A lot of brothers, like I said, from my era and our generation, man, they hanging them up. Go ahead and get married. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of brothers that's looking forward to getting, some been married, they got divorced, now they want to get back in that. That's because, I mean, just the, you get to the point, you're tired of being independent. I look at it like this. Okay, I'm 40 years old. By God's grace, I don't know if I get there, but I might have 40 more years left. So that means I'm middle-aged right now. Okay, I know what it's like to be independent. I don't know what it's like to be codependent in a marriage. Never been married. Don't know if I'm marriage material. But we're working to that point. But you get to a point to where you're like, okay, I spent 40 years out here in the wilderness, by myself mostly, trying to raise kids, trying to do the right thing, working myself half to death. And then you look up and you don't have nobody to share with. The kids get grown, they're going on with their life. And you're like, okay, I'm knocked that down. Now I got me time, and I don't want me time. I want to be codependent. I want to be in a serious marriage. And in our community, in the Black community, we've not really raised properly. I don't think we're being reared correctly when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage. A lot of us, most of us, are brought up with an independent mindset. We're taught to do for self, so you won't need that significant other. And see, I think that comes from a place of pain, a place of disappointment, a place of being let down, because we've had the people who taught us, they've been in situations, or they're being taught the same thing, not to depend on people because you've been let down before. And if you depend on yourself, then nobody else can let you down, which is true. I mean, you got to take care of yourself at the end of the day. But at the same time, we weren't created to be independent creatures. God didn't create one and left him here by himself. And even when he created Eve, he didn't separate the two and told them, go out there so you don't need each other. No, he created one for the other so they can be codependent, so they can work together, so they can be together. Just like every other animal he created during the creation, he created a male and a female. One, so that the species can go on and live on and reproduce, but also to create a codependency. But for some strange reason, we're not taught that in the Black community. It seems like every other community has that over us because they're being raised differently. They're being taught, go have your fun when you're young, but also they're being raised to be wives. They're being raised to be husbands. They're being taught codependency. They're being taught get married first, then go out here and have a family. But we have all your fun you want early, then get married, then have your family and be serious. But we're not taught that in our community. We're taught that, go out here, be twice as good as everybody else, just to be equal. So you work your ass off. We're taught, education, which is good, but education don't pay bills. Education alone, I'd say, it don't pay bills. And so we're pushed, to thrive individually, which most of us do, but then we fail when it comes to relationships. I gave the statistic that back in the 60s, during the Jim Crow era, we were 80% plus married. You look after that, with the rise of the crack epidemic, with the rise of welfare and government assistance tearing families apart, because that does play a part. I mean, I don't think it's significant, but at the same time, you're a grown ass person. You can make your own choice. You deciding to put the man out the house. Let's not get that twisted, but that's a whole nother story. But through all of that, now we're at a high rate of being unwed. And if we do get married, we don't stay married anymore. So we're gonna look at the male's perspective. We're gonna look at the male aspect of it. What part are we playing in that? I know a lot of times, and I'm guilty. We're quick to point the finger at the woman. Oh, she's not a good woman. She's not a good. She's not good with her children. She's not good taking care of the house. She don't listen to me. She don't do what I tell her to do, and all that kind of stuff. But what kind of man are you? Who are you to lead a woman if you are lost out here? Ooh, I think I'll say that again. Who are you to lead a woman or lead a family if you out here lost? And what I mean by that is if you are inconsistent with the job, you're inconsistent with your housing, you're inconsistent with your finances, who is you to lead? I wouldn't want to follow that. You don't want to follow that. So how can you expect a woman she's gonna survive regardless? That just in women, they're gonna survive. So who are you to lead him down the wrong path if you're not right? So you got to be, if you're gonna be the head of the house, be the head. And I see that I think that's where we falling off as men now. We're not being the head of the household because we don't know how to be the head. You think you do, but you do it. We really don't. We're struggling in a lot of areas that we should be better in. I see guys wanting to lead. I hear guys talking a big game, but there's just so much inconsistency there. And women are not stupid. Women's minds, they run constantly. Our mind shut off. We watching football, our mind shut off to the world. We play a video game, our mind shut off to the world. We get deep in our music or whatever it is that we like, our mind shuts off. The woman's mind is always running. She's always thinking, always trying to plan 3 and 4 steps ahead because, like I said, her function is she's going to survive. She's got to make sure her babies is good. She got to make sure she's good. So she's not going to sit up here and waste her time trying to figure out if you're going to come correct or not, if you're going to lead her like she needs to be led. Are you going to take care of this family the way you're supposed to? Or does she need to go do what she needs to do? And if she does what she needs to go do, you're not going to be the head of the family. I can tell you that now. You're not going to be head of the house. That's just how it is. So that's my first piece of wisdom for you, brothers. And again, y'all might be saying, who is you to talk? I'm nobody. I'm not married, never been married. But I do know one thing about being a man is if you're not together, and there's been points in my life I wasn't together, and I thought I knew everything, and I was trying to tell women what to do, they're not listening. Why? Because I didn't have everything together. And she knew it. I knew it. I couldn't bullshit her. And hey, they do what they have to do. And I know it's hard for us because a lot of times, most of us, we grew up in situations where we didn't really see men being leaders. We didn't see men being the head of the house. My father popped in and out most of my life. I mean, he would come if I called, but as far as him coming and being a part every day, no, that didn't happen. I was grateful to have my stepdad. My mother married a good man, and I got to see him every day, going out here doing this thing and loving on her, and also being the head of the household. My mother had been strong, headstrong, dominant my whole life. I've seen her tell her mama what to do, tell everybody in the family what to do, just bossy as hell. But then when she got a man, and then when she started seeing him get himself together, and she was patient. Mother waited over 10 years before they got married. Well over 10 years. And most women wouldn't have been that patient, especially not nowadays. But she waited for him to get his thing together. She waited for him to be able to provide. He provided a house. He provided security. And once she saw that he was about his business and he was taking care of everything, and hell, he got to the point where she got sick and she couldn't work, and she could depend on him, and he was there, and he handled shit, she changed. And I saw her submit. I saw her lower her manly energy, her testosterone, and she became a good wife. Just saying, you got to have your thing together. And women will adapt. They'll adapt and do whatever it is you need them to do. But you got to be right. And, like I said, I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with my grandparents that, I got to see a healthy, loving marriage. One that was together for 40 years until she passed. I had ups and downs like everybody else. It wasn't my place to judge either one. I had to stay in a child's place. And a lot of people struggle with that too, but I had a male figure to look up to. My granddaddy was strong, still works every day at 80, 81 years old. My grandmother took care of him. He came in the house. He didn't wash clothes. He didn't wash dishes. He didn't do none of that stuff. He cooked every now and again when he felt like it. If she asked him to, but that wasn't his place. And we talked about that too last week. You got to know your place. A man and a woman has a place. Okay? Your role as a man, you got to provide, you got to protect, and just with providing, we always think, well, I go out here and I pay all the bills, and that's all it is to it. But when you're providing, not only are you taking care of the family, but you got to take care of it, everything, not just, because I've seen this happen too in a lot of marriages, a lot of situations, when you have to take in, we're in an era where we have a lot of blended families. She's got some kids, you got some kids, and now you're trying to put all this together in a big old sandwich. You do have to provide for her kids. When you take on a wife, you take on her, all her responsibilities, all her problems. If she got bad credit, you taking that. If she got badass kids, you taking that. If she, whatever it is she got, mother, father, they sick, you got to take on all that. You got to provide for all of that. With my grandfather, I know this for a fact. When my great-grandparents, my great-grandmother and died, he helped pay for the funeral. When my other aunties and uncles, my great aunts and uncles, they passed, he paid for the funeral. Because that was his wife's family, now it's his family. He had to provide. He did what he had to do. He didn't sit back idly and say, well, I don't know, they ain't my family. No. So, excuse me, y'all. Yeah, sorry about that. Get my little situation going on. But yeah, you providing for the whole family, everybody. That's just how it goes. If you got it, they damn sure gonna look for you to do it. And like I said, you can't look at it as, well, that's her daughter, that's her son, or that's his son. I've seen that happen several times. Now I'm like looking at y'all, like looking at them like, what are y'all doing? How you gonna separate the children? And you know, in my mother's house, when my stepdad had brought his girls over, they was our sisters. They still our sisters. It wasn't such thing as, oh, well, that's Robert's girls. You know, them Debbie's children. No, we was a family. We still are a family. You know, even after her passing, their marriage is dissolved. It's over. But we still a parent. We still a family. They still my sisters. I'm still their brother. Their children are still my nieces. You know, my kids are their nieces and nephews. So, you know, those things you got to think about as a man. Uh, Another thing, communication. I know there's a lot of things we suffer with as being black men. You know, we're taught to always be strong, have this tough exterior. In this era, this generation is out now. Yeah, they violent and they angry and they frustrated because they never been taught anything other than anger. And so now they're emotional, they're angry, they don't have any logic. And a lot of that's because they got stuff built in. I saw a picture, and I might have to steal that and post it, where the mother had a belt and she was arguing, she was talking to the son, and he was kind of weeping. And she told him, you know, basically like we all heard this, you know, shut up if I give you something to cry for. And most of the time, that's how they didn't give us something to cry for. And you ever notice that? You get your ass whooped, your mama tear your ass up. Now shut up if I give you something really to cry for. Well, hell, you just beat the hell out of me. What am I supposed to do? Then if you don't cry, they really get mad. I've done that once. But we're taught not to cry. We're taught not to feel. We're taught not to have emotions. We're taught to suck it up and be strong and be tough. And we grow into that. And then we get a wife and she's trying to get stuff out of you. She's put stuff in you. Now she's trying to get your emotions out of you. And you blank. You know, that's one area that I hope all brothers either work through with therapy or some kind of counseling is we got to we got to raise our level of communication. We cannot be with our woman that we're saying to the world God gave us or made for us specifically, and we can't even communicate with her properly. We can't be open and honest with her about our feelings and our thoughts out of fear. And I've been that way too. There's been a lot of girls I wanted to tell them something different. I wanted to tell them something they needed to hear because they had inadequacies. But I froze up because it's like, okay, if I say this, I pretty much know it's over with. If I tell this woman what I really think and what I really feel, it's going to be over with. And I think that's where being taught how to communicate, being taught her love language, she understanding your love language, all those things kick in. You know, somebody had to teach me about love language. You know, I didn't understand it either. I thought, hell, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm engaged, I'm present. And some women listen with different parts. You know, some people, prime example, some people have to look at body language to listen. Some people have to look at sign language to listen. Some people listen with their ears. Some people listen with their hearts. You know, it's different ways to listen and communicate. And as a man, that's one thing we have to master, I think, going into a situation with your wife. If you're gonna marry this woman, you damn sure got to be able to talk to her because you're gonna have a whole bunch of problems. You're gonna have a whole lot of situations popping up, small and big, and you're gonna have to stand there and be a man and answer her. And I know people here say, I don't want to answer to nobody. Well, you got to be accountable to somebody. Somebody's got to hold you accountable. Otherwise, you're headed for self-destruction. So you need somebody to be accountable to. And who better than your better half, which is your wife, and wife is the same way with your husband. You got to be able to be accountable to him because somebody's got to hold you accountable. You can't just be out here being reckless and nobody tell you nothing. So, you know, brothers, that's one area I know we all can do better in. I know it's a struggle. I know it's different because we basically were made to be mute as little boys. And then you grow into a man and you got to go out here and face the world, and and you're told at the same time you can't be individual, you can't really speak your mind, uh, you can't really say fuck you to your boss or whatever. And so, you know, we got a whole lot of stuff in, but I'll say this: we shouldn't be afraid to tell our wife anything. Now, clearly, you got to be a little creative because only you know whether your wife can handle it or not. But she definitely needs to hear, you know, if you're upset with her, if there's some areas of concern, and there's some things y'all both can work on, you know. So communication is a big one. Uh, Also, another issue we can always work on and be better at is we got to be more fiscally responsible. Uh, you know, I grew up financially illiterate. You know, I didn't learn anything about money. All I know to do was pick up the phone, call my daddy. Hey, daddy, I need X amount of dollars, or I just need some money. He bring it over there. I spend it in a day or two. You know, didn't know anything about credit. Didn't know understand how credit works. Didn't understand how credit affects your spending, your buying power, how it can affect jobs. I didn't get jobs because my credit was bad. All of those things, you know. And as I started to get older and closer to this age, then I started to learn more financial literacy. And those things are very important when you get married because one of the main top reasons for divorce is finance. You know, you got to have finance to make the romance work. I'm sorry, it's just how it is, but we all know that. We all know that, you know, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Okay, so that means you got to have a good understanding, and you should at this age. But this is for the younger brothers. You know, don't go out here blowing all your money on jewelry and cars and trying to be like everybody else, man. When you get married, like I said, you're responsible for your house and everybody that's in that house. So you got to be very financially responsible and be prepared to take on that responsibility. That's a huge task. Because if it gets to the point that your wife can't work, she gets sick and she can't work, guess what? Them bills they're gonna still be coming in. They're gonna be coming now. You got medical bills. You know, so you got to take care of a whole lot of things. You got to cover a lot of ground. And that's why a lot of brothers shouldn't take marriage lightly, and that you should be completely prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. You should be ready for all of that because it falls on your shoulders. You know, you have to take care of the house. Take care of the house take care of you. It's just that simple. And also we got to learn some dick control. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. You gotta have some dick control. You when you get married, again, I'm no saint. I'm a sinner. Uh, when you get married, you telling your wife, you telling her family, you telling your family, you telling the whole world and God Himself, I'm done out here playing. I'm done with another woman. It's the only woman I'm gonna stick my dick in. And I'm just gonna be plain and raw. I'm sorry. It's the only woman I'm gonna have sex with for the rest of my life. I'm not messing with no other woman. I'm not entertaining no other woman. I'm not playing with no other woman. I'm not listening to no other woman. I don't need no side piece, no boo things. I don't need no bays. I don't need no babies. I don't need no sugar mamas. I don't need no sugar babies. I don't need nothing else but this woman right here. If you are not ready to accept all those terms and conditions, do not get married to that woman. When you do that, when you tell the world, this is my wife, this is my everything, I don't want nothing else. I'm good. And then you go out here and you cheat on her and she found out about it, then I promise you, everybody that was at that church or wherever years you got married, about to find out that you wasn't shit and you was out here fucking around. And you still gotta stay married. You still gotta look at her. You still gotta live with her. Hell, she gonna probably put your ass on the couch or wherever else you gonna sleep at. That's just how it go. That's just how it go. Not to mention, now, I'm not saying this is right, but we all know this happens. The children finds out. Now you got to explain to your children why you hurt mama like that, why you cheated on mama like that. And I understand nobody's perfect, but like I said, these are things that you have to have worked out before you even get into this situation. Because marriage, like I said, shouldn't be entered into lightly. You should know what you want before you get there. Okay, if you know you're not ready for that, if you know you still going to go out here and do your thing, then don't get married to the girl. And vice versa. Ladies, I'm not picking on y'all today, but I'm just saying, I know some cheating wives, and if you ain't ready to just be with that man and have his one penis in you, then don't say, yes, I want to get married. We can't do that to one another. We have to start changing the environments. We have to start changing our relationships. We got to start changing these things. We can't keep letting silly shit get in the loop out of the way of what we're trying to get to, which is going back to being a family-oriented, a family-based community of people. You know, we as Black people, we pride ourselves on being the leaders. We pride ourselves on everybody copying us. We pride ourselves on being the most educated. We pride ourselves on being the most athletic. We pride ourselves on getting that bag. We influential, all of that. We all those things. But why is that we fail when we have to deal with one another? We keep failing when it's time to love on one another. We failing when it comes time to teaching our children the correct way to live, the correct way to be. A lot of our children are lost because they're only getting one side of the coin. I wish I had a witness in here. I wish somebody could come up and say, how many of us even heard our father's story? How many of us even know how our father felt about us being born, about us, how he felt when we found out he was having a baby? You don't know your father's story. Most of us, the overwhelming majority, only get one side. We get our mother's side. I don't even know my father's family. I don't know nothing about none of them. I got a sister older than me, got a brother that's younger than me. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Red. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know that family. All of my life, all I've gotten is one side of the coin. Whether it be right, whether it be wrong, I don't know. Me and my father were starting to turn the corner and starting to learn each other right before he passed. But I look at it as he died when I was 27. Them other 27 years, we couldn't get that back. But he didn't know me. I didn't know him. It's like sitting in there in a room with a stranger and watching a stranger pretty much die. He's my daddy. I loved him. We reconciled some stuff, but I didn't know his story. I didn't know how he grew up. I don't know what it was like for him in Alabama. I don't. And I'll never know. But I regret I didn't find out. I regret I didn't reach out a little bit more and try to figure out, because all I got was one side of the coin. And as Black families, that's what most of us we get. We don't get what daddy went through. We don't get daddy's side of it. We don't get what mama may have said to daddy. And that's because we don't have the Black family union anymore. It's because we're doing a lot of things backwards. We keep having kids with people we hardly even know. And then we're teaching our people, I've been taught this, well, you don't have to be together to raise a child. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It takes both parents to raise a child. You should want to be together. You should want to be in a marriage, in a union, raising them as a family. That way the child is getting both aspects and both perspectives of life, because the mother has her side. She's got her journey. She's got, all that stuff she went through that she can teach. Dad has got his, what he went through, all his experience that he can give the child. And that way you're making a much complete, more whole child that's going out here and being more successful. And then guess what he's going to do? He's going to go out there. He's going to find him a wife, somebody like mama that he can bring in. They get married. Now they're making a super child. And now we're getting better and better and better. And look at what we got going on. We got men out here, grown men. I'm not picking on nobody. You got grown men taking pictures talking about they're pregnant, which we know is not even biological. It's not even biologically possible. We got men out here wearing skirts and saying it's fashionable. We got men out here wearing purses. I don't know how many last night at the bar. They don't really take wallets anymore. They reaching in their purse. Well, let me go in here and see. The girlfriend don't even have a purse. Excuse me, I don't mean to get upset. I don't mean to holler. But these are things that are just puzzling to me. It's puzzling to me. And to me, see, it ain't got nothing to do with being gay or being straight or being curious or being anything else. To me, that's just a lack of manhood. See, there's a difference to me between toxic masculinity, which I don't believe there's no such thing, because why would you make a man feel ashamed for being being a man? We're taking manhood out of men. And I'm not saying that's all because of a lack of fathers. I think it's a lack of family. And that's my purpose, to put this stuff out there. We are in a situation where we're lacking families, not fathers. Because just because a father is in a child's life, yes, it's impactful. Yes, it makes a difference. But at the same time, if that man is not in that house, then what really good is he doing? He's still only being sparingly there, when you should want him to be there 24/7, just like you are. You want him to be present every day. Every day. Not just sometimes, not just when it's convenient. And see, that's a whole nother. I'm not even really trying to get into. That's a whole nother. I'm not trying to get into. But, we shouldn't be parenting out of convenience, when it's a crowd, when it's an Instagram moment, when it's a Facebook moment, something you can add to your story, something you can post and get likes. No. You should want that man and that father to be in that house, and y'all raising these kids together, and we moving forward. Men, you should want to be in the house with the wife the wife and mother of your children, whether they be her biological children or not. You still got to be in there to raise these kids, and you should want to do it every single day, not just here and there, spotty here and there. Yes, that could make an impact, but for me, for what I can see, when the father and the mother are working together, they're working as one towards the betterment of the children, the betterment of the house, you got a better house, period. It's period. So are we marriage material? Can we get, if we're not, how do we get there? We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to quit relying on other people to fill in the gaps. We keep saying it takes a village. Yes, it takes a village. Yes, it takes more than the mama. It takes more than daddy. You need other people to influence the child, good influences. But the main influence should be the mother and the father. It should be a two-parent household. It shouldn't be all this, child support and all this other bullshit and all these other games and traps. That's just to be irrelevant at this point. I love seeing Black love. I love seeing Black excellence. I love seeing what comes out of Black love and Black marriages. When I see a lot of kids, and y'all post them on Facebook, and I love seeing it. I love seeing these children thriving in a loving, wholesome environment when you got mama and daddy, they're both pulling for you. They both supporting you. They're both on the same page. See, and like I said, I've never been married, but I got to believe that, you might not always agree on everything, but everybody agrees they want their children to be better. Hell, I know there'd be dads that say, I know I was trash. I failed my kids. I ain't did shit like I was supposed to, mainly because I was shamed. But at the same time, I want them to be better than me. I've heard fathers tell me straight up and down, I've stayed away because I knew I wasn't right. I knew I was going to be a bad influence on that child. I know their mama can do better and find a better man. But my thing is, brother, that's still a part of you. That child knows where he comes from. If they know where they come from, they're going to return back to it because they want to know what's the origin. Where do I come from? How am I? They got to know where they come from so they know where they're going. I don't know. I'm going to post a link. I think I done preached enough. We're going to wait, give everybody opportunity. They want to come in. We ain't had a lot of viewership today, but that's okay. It never hurts my feelings. But, if somebody does come in and they want to talk, there goes the link. And, we need to talk about these things. These are conversations that we need to have. This is what's going to make us better as a people. Not just raising kids individually, not just half-assing it, not just, being there when it's convenient or being asking the father to be there when it's convenient. And men, we just have to reclaim our place. We are the kings. We are the heads. We are, the pillar. We are the cornerstones of the family. And we've relinquished that role to the women almost freely, mainly because we're afraid to lead. And we could blame that on a myriad of things, but each man can look inside himself and say, have I done all I can to lead my family? Have I been a good man? Have I been a good husband? Have I been a good father? And we can all see room for improvement. We've got to take back over our communities. We got to start wrangling in these children. We got to put the discipline back in there because that's our role. Mother doesn't have any business laying out discipline like that. That's a father's job to whoop these kids' ass because, most of the time mama can't do it or she don't do it correctly because she don't want to hurt the child. That's her baby. But as a father, you have to take that hard line because you know what's best for them. And you might not like it. Hell, I hated whooping my kids. I had a way better time playing with them and loving on them and us having a good time. But at the same time, it was a hard line I had to drop. And you have to put that discipline in there. You can't be afraid, to be, give them some tough love. And that comes from being a father. It comes from being a good man, and one better for your kids. But I done talked enough. I done talked 45 minutes. I'm gonna give this a few more minutes if somebody wants to call in. But if not, we'll move on. I know I preached to somebody. Hell, if not, I know I preached to myself. And Yeah, I know I preached to myself today. And I just want better for our people. And I know we'll get there. I know we'll get there. I'm just a few more minutes and I'm gonna get on up off of here. Hmm. Okay, that's new. Now people wanted to text me today about the stuff, but that's all right. Like I said, as long as you watch it, I don't care. Enjoy it how you enjoy it. Give me feedback however you want to do it. All right. Well, I thank those for watching who have watched. Uh, I hope everybody got something out of it. Um, I got a lot of compliments about my show last week, and really wanted to, uh, like I said, just add something out there for the men. Uh, men, we don't always get a fair shake, and you know, we get a hard time, we get hassled a lot, and I just wanted to give us something to chew on, something to think about. Uh, you know, try to do better. Things ain't gonna always be easy for us, and we understand that. So yeah, I hope y'all liked it. Hope you got something out of it. I have a show for you on Thursday. I'm still trying to still working that out in my spirit. But like I said, thank you all for watching, and y'all have a good rest of your day.